Yo, what's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, it's Jay Briggs from Pickdawgz.com bringing y'all my NBA Jam session on March 18th, 2023, man. If you're looking for more of this great content, y'all know what to do. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and drop your like down in the comments. As you know, I love going through, seeing who y'all like, man. My best bets can be found over at Pickdawgz.com. Just click that link in the description. It takes you right to my Handicapper page. That's where you can find my long-term packages, 3-day, 7-day, 30-day, monthly, yearly, seasonal. You can find all my bets for today's action. We got a lot of college hoops today still in the middle of March Madness. It wasn't the best day for me yesterday there, but we'll bounce back today. We got March Madness, NIT today, and some CBI. So a lot of college hoops and NBA for sure. We've been hot this week in the NBA. We're going to try to keep that rolling forward for sure. So all my best bets can be found there, including that $15 NBA Jam session play, man, which we did win last night with the Atlanta Hawks, continuing to fade the Golden State Warriors out on the road, man. I don't know what's up with them boys, but they do not hoop on the road. They might today. We'll see if today's the day, but yeah, all my plays can be found in that link in the description. Also, follow me on Twitter at ParlayGuyJ, and check out my live show right here on the Pick Dawgz YouTube channel every day, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, as I run through the card one more time. Usually bring on a guest as well as we chop it up and cook up a parlay at the end of the show, man. So come join us. It's live, man. I can ask questions and all that great stuff in the comments. I think I'll have my guy Chris Ruffalo on there today, man. So come join me on that live show, man, as we try to make some money tonight in the NBA. We're going to try to smash it per usual right here. And, yeah, man, let's make some money tonight in the NBA. And without further ado, let's hop right into tonight's NBA action. In our first matchup of the night, man, we open up with a banger, man. We got the Denver Nuggets out on the road facing the New York Knicks, man. Denver, road favorites in this one, laying 2, total 230. The Nuggets, man, we know they've been struggling. They've only won 1 of their last 5. It was their last game out in a bounce-back spot where they did hammer the Detroit Pistons, 119-100, covered the spread and all. Was a little nervous earlier in that game, man. They made us sweat it, but they did pull off on the Pistons there in the end. They're working with revenge, as the Nuggets did win the lone meeting this season in Denver. At that, man, the Knicks went in there and won that game 106-103 on the 16th of November. So it was quite some time ago, but we know earlier in the season the Knicks were the Road Warriors, and they still are, as they are still the best ATS road team in the league. They're at home here in this one, man. They did just win their last 2 road games, which was their last 2 games out against Portland, 123-107, and the Lakers, 112-108, man. The last time we seen the Knicks at home, it was against Charlotte. And Charlotte ended their winning streak, 112-105. We haven't loved the Knicks in Madison Square Garden all season. And I think the Nuggets, I think they're going through the motions. Little streak that they were on this week is over. I do think we see them lock back in, man. They've lost 4 of their last 5. They bounced back in their last one. I think they continue rolling here on the road. I do lean Nuggets, laying the 2, man. It's going to be a tight game, a really good game. 2 teams that, you know, have had their moments this season where it's like, God damn, we can't fade them. They're not really either one in that mode right now. I could see this one going either way, but I do lean the Nuggets. I do think the Nuggets are just straight up the better basketball team. I could see them waking up here today on the road. I do have a little concern, as this is an early game for the Nuggets, man. We know we love the Nuggets at home in that 9 o'clock window. They go crazy in that late 9 o'clock window. It's a really early start for them, 12 o'clock Central. But I still think they go in here. I think they're the better team, and I think they beat this Knicks team. I'll lay the 2 with the Nuggets in our first matchup of the night. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Orlando Magic out on the road facing the Los Angeles Clippers. Clippers laying 7, total 227. Hey, we got to give some credit to the Clips, man. They've been playing really good basketball. They came out of the break not looking that great. When they first got Russell Westbrook, there was a lot of memes. They were struggling. They were losing. Since then, they've had 4 straight home games. They won all 4. And, you know, they look nice in this little stretch they're in. This will be their 5th straight home game. It started with beating up on Memphis, 135-129. Beat up on the Raptors. Beat up on the Knicks. And then their last one, 3 days ago, they beat up on the Golden State Warriors, 134-126. We had them in that one. We continue to fade the Golden State Warriors, man. We faded the Warriors last night with the Hawks, man. $15 NBA Jam session play. Love to see that, man. Continue to fade the Warriors on the road. It's pretty much almost that simple. Maybe. We'll talk about it in a minute. In this one, though, I know the Clips have been playing really great basketball, man, but I'm not laying 7 with them here in this spot. I actually think the Magic, I know who have been struggling, who've only won one of their last 5. I think they can compete here in this one and keep this one within the number. Hell, we just seen them compete in their last one with the Suns team, who desperately needed a bounce-back game. And they competed, man. The Suns did end up winning the game, but they did not cover the line. We did see the Magic keep down within the number. 116-113 was the final score in their last game, which was 2 days ago. They did lose on the road to the Spurs pretty handily. That was not a great sight, man. 132-114. Beat Miami on their home floor, though, 126-114. So Orlando Magic team is not the Magic team we were cashing out on like early February, kind of January-ish. They're not that team right now. But I do think in certain spots, certain situations, you got to kind of get in and out with the Magic. I think today is probably another spot to get in right quick. I do think they can keep this one within the number. I think we're looking at like a 5-6 point win for the Clips. I do think the Clips win this basketball game. They need to win this basketball game to try to continue improving their seed in a tight Western Conference. But in that same breath, I think the length for this Magic team can cause some problems for the Clippers. I think they can keep this one pretty close on the road, man. These are the spots where the Magic be the Magic. I think they make some magic here today. On a Saturday, I'm going to take them plus a 7 here in this one. All right, in our next matchup of the night, man, we get into some late action now. We got the 6 o'clock start in this one. We got the Sixers on the road facing the Indiana Pacers. Philly laying 5.5, total 233. This is how I feel on this one, man. Sixers are in that mode, and quite honestly, I don't feel like fading them. I lean them in this one. Probably won't bet this game. It's not a great spot for the Sixers on this back-to-back after they hammered the Charlotte Hornets yesterday. It's not a great spot, man, to continue just blindly backing the Sixers. But in that same breath, I don't feel like fading them either. Not for this Pacers team. A Pacers team that's pretty banged up right now. They did win their last matchup against the Bucks, believe it or not. 139-123. Hammered them in that spot. But still, the Sixers have beat up on this Pacers team 3 times this season, winning all 3 meetings. Last one was not that long ago, 6th of March, 147-143. The second one, 129-126. And the first one, 120-106. I will say the last 2, they didn't really just beat up on them. They did win the game. I do think they do the same here tonight. I could see them beating up on them here tonight. I really just don't feel like fading the Sixers. Joel Embiid is in that mode. He's desperately trying to go get that MVP. I think he probably goes and gets it, man. Looking at this injury report as well, I'm seeing Halliburton probably still out, Durarte and Mathurin as well. Not a great spot for the Pacers either. I lean Sixers here in this spot. I can see them continue rolling and beating up on this Indiana Pacers team. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves, a.k.a. the House of Disappointment, man. They disappointed me again last night. They had them in regulation. They had them. Pooped it. Lost by 8 to the Bulls in double overtime. Not a great spot for them tonight, man. After a double overtime road game in Chicago, now you got to leave there, fly to Toronto, and facing a Toronto team who's been playing better at home. You've now lost 4 of your last 5, and it's looking like Anthony Edwards is sitting out tonight. I understand why this line for Toronto is 9.5. In that same breath, though, there's very few teams I want to lay over double digits with. The Toronto Raptors are not one of them. I do kind of still lean the Wolves, man. It's not my favorite game. I'm probably not betting this game, but I lean Wolves plus the 9.5. They are the House of Disappointment, and in typical Minnesota Timberwolves fashion, they did it again last night. They had every opportunity to win that game in regulation. I think they did in overtime as well. Then in double overtime, they just got beat on. Looking at this one, man, they did beat the Raptors in the lone meeting that these two teams played. It was on the 19th of January in Minnesota. They beat them by 2, 128-126. Timberwolves with the win. Raptors, they have won back-to-back home games against the Denver Nuggets, the best team in the Western Conference. Really good win for them. They beat them pretty good, too, by 15 points. And they beat up on my favorite money-making team, man. The best cover team in the NBA, the Thunder Buddies. They beat up on them, too, 128-111. So that's back-to-back double-digit wins for the Raptors. Could the Raptors win this game by double digits? For sure, they could, man. They, like I said, they just did it in back-to-back games. And like I said, there's probably no Anthony Edwards tonight on this back-to-back. I still think the Raptors don't win this game by double digits. I think the Timberwolves keep this one competitive. It might even be a super competitive game. I would not be surprised at all if it is, man. These are the spots where you want to fade the Timberwolves and they disappoint you the other way. It's like, bro, where'd that come from? And I think we might be looking at that tonight, quite honestly. I'm just shooting it straight to you. I just try to come on here and be as honest as possible. Raptors are the better team, playing the better basketball right now, but I think the Wolves do keep this one competitive, man. I think we're looking at a super tight game, if I had to call it, and I think the Wolves mess around, only lose it by like 3 or 4 points. I think it's still going to be tightly contested. I lean Timberwolves, the house of disappointment. Probably won't fire it up, though, as I didn't have it as a premium yesterday, Wolves, but I did bet them personally, and they let me down. They always let me down, a.k.a. the house of disappointment, but I do lean them in this game. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Sacramento Kings out on the road facing the Washington Wizards. Sacramento laying 3, total 236. Sac, man, y'all know they're one of our favorite money-making teams. We have been betting them a lot here recently. Coming out of the All-Star break, we have loved what we've seen from them. They're in another stretch of really great basketball, man. They've only lost 1 of their last 5 games, so they've won 4 of their last 5. This will be their 4th road game in their last 5 games. Not a great spot for them. But they have looked good on this little road trip, I will say. Beat Phoenix out on the road pretty good, 128-119. Beat Chicago, 117-114. Just beat the Nets, 101-96. I will say this, though. We've been on them a ton, but I'm fading them today, man. I think tonight is a do-or-die game for this Washington Wizards. I think we see an inspired effort from them tonight. And I think they pull this one out on their home floor. That's how I see it. I know the Kings are playing a much better basketball. They won 4 of their last 5. And the Washington Wizards have now lost 4 of their last 5. And now find themselves on the outside looking in the Eastern playing. But they're still right there. You know, 1 to 2 wins and they're right back in. And I think this one tonight is a must-win, man. They're pretty much playing for their season. I know they got hammered on the road in their last one against the Cleveland Cavaliers, 117-94. Plenty of teams have gone into Cleveland and got hammered this season. Trust and believe that. They did beat up on Washington. Not Washington, I'm sorry. They did beat up on Detroit in Washington, 117-97, man. Other than that, it hasn't been pretty for them recently, I will say that. They did beat the Kings in their lone meeting this year, 125-111, 2 days before Christmas, the 23rd of December. I don't think they win it like that, 125-111, but I do think they put their best foot forward tonight. It's going to be like a playoff-type atmosphere. They have to win this game, I believe, man, or their season's pretty much on the line. I kind of felt that about the Pelicans yesterday as well. The Pelicans were in it, man. They should have won that game. The Pelicans should have won that game. The Pelicans should have won that game, man. To lose to the Rockets like that was absolutely disgusting, and that's what they get. Their season is over. I'm mad at the Pelicans for that, man. But the Wizards, I don't think they let us down in this similar spot tonight. Playing for their season, everything on the line. I know the Kings are one of our favorite money-making teams, man. They've been red hot coming out of the break. We love the Kings, but today I think is a good spot to fade them. Taking the Wizards, taking the home dog on their home floor. I'm going to take them straight up on the money line here in this one tonight. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Miami Heat out on the road facing the Chicago Bulls, man. Miami laying 4, total 217. If you've watched this jam session for any duration of time, then you know I really don't like either one of these two teams. I said coming out of the break, I'm looking to fade the Chicago Bulls as much as possible. And y'all know the Miami Heat, man, they're the #1 team on my do not bet list as we fade them damn near every chance we get on their home floor, man. I will say, we did take the Heat in their last one on their home floor, and we cashed. So I won't talk too bad about them right now. And to be honest, I do like them in this game. I think they win the game straight up. I do lean them, laying the 4 as well, but being one of the worst ATS teams in the league, I don't even want to mess with them on the spread, even though I do think they do it. I will say I do think they do it, but I'm going to just take them on the money line as I think they do beat this Chicago Bulls team today. I think it's a bad spot for the Bulls, man. Coming off a double overtime game, a really, really, really hard-fought game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, the house of disappointment. Minnesota had every chance to win that basketball game, man. They really did, and the Bulls just wanted a little more, pushed it to OT, pushed it to double OT, and then not only won, but covered in double OT, 139-131. They have won 3 of their last 4, man. They've been playing super good basketball. The Chicago Bulls have. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. I've been hating on them a little bit. They beat up on the Nuggets on the road, 117-96. Really, really, really surprising, but good win. Turned around, went and beat the Rockets on the road, 119-111. And lost at home to Sacramento, 117-114. Not the end of the world. Sacramento is playing great basketball. And then, like we just talked about, that Minnesota game. The Bulls also have beat this Miami team in both meetings this season. They've played twice. Both were in Miami, and we know Miami at home, terrible. Chicago won the first one on the 19th of October, really, really, really early in the season, 116-108, and they beat them 113-103 on the 20th of December in Miami as well. I think the Heat get their double revenge in this one and beat the Bulls today out on the road. I lean them laying the 4 as well. Terrible spot for the Bulls coming off that double overtime game last night. I think the Heat win it. I lean them on the 4, being one of the worst ATS teams, though. Yeah. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the defending champs, the Golden State Warriors. We also got the worst road team in the NBA. It's kind of crazy that those two teams are the same team, you know? But that team, the Golden State Warriors, is out on the road, man, where they've been terrible all season, facing the Memphis Grizzlies, who have been dominant at home all season, man. Memphis laying 3.5, total 236.5. Yesterday went exactly how I thought it was going to go. The Warriors were going to go on the road and continue to stink it up and lose, fail to cover on the road, the worst road ATS team in the NBA, to the Atlanta Hawks, as that was our $15 NBA Jam Session play. We had the Hawks and now and loved that spot. I also told y'all yesterday that the Grizzlies were going to go into San Antonio, where they've struggled all year on the road and against that San Antonio team for some reason, and go through the motions and fail to cover. They damn near lost that game. They should have probably lost that game, but in overtime they did win it and failed to cover, though. San Antonio is now covered in all 4 meetings against the Grizzlies. Now, if you remember yesterday, man, I told y'all what I thought was going to happen, and I'm sticking to it. As we go through it, man, Golden State does lead this season series 2-1 as they won both their meetings in Golden State, 123-109 and 122-120. The Grizzlies just won the last one not that long ago, 131-110. They beat up on this Golden State team. And we know the Golden State Warriors are the worst road team in the NBA, ATS-wise, and they're like the 3rd worst team in the NBA, period. Hold on, I'll pull it up. The Warriors on the road, man. 7-28 are the Warriors on the road. They're terrible. But as I said yesterday, today's the day. Today's the spot. I'm taking the Warriors on the money line, man. I do think they want this game badly. They were fiending for this win, man, and I think they get it. I think they lock in today and their road woes come to an end. We faded them yesterday, but I told you, I think they come into Memphis today and get this win. Memphis, they've looked okay, weathering this storm without Ja Morant, who will be back, I think, in their next one against my team, the Dallas Mavericks. But I do think they dropped this one here, man. I know they've been dominant at home all season, and they did just beat up on this Golden State Warriors team here very recently. But I think this one goes the other way. I know what I'm saying. I'm taking the worst road team in the NBA, the Golden State Warriors, to beat a really good home team in the Memphis Grizzlies. But there's a lot of extra motivational factors in this game. These two teams are rivals. These two teams are nemesis. And I think the Warriors lock in and win this one today, man. I just got that gut feeling, and I'm rolling with it. I had it yesterday. Everything came and went exactly how I thought it was going to go, and I think this one goes that same way. I'm taking the Warriors on the money line. I don't even think we need the points. I think the Warriors be the Warriors today on the road, where they haven't been all season, and they go in here and get themselves a win. I'm going to take the Warriors on the money line here in this one tonight. In our last and final matchup of the night, man, we got the Boston Celtics out on the road facing the Utah Jazz. Celtics are favored, laying 4.5, total 232.5. And I do lean Celtics in this one. I know they're on a road back-to-back after they did beat up on Portland yesterday, 126-112. And this is their 5th road game in their last 5 games. So 5 straight road games. Road back-to-back is usually not a great spot, but I do think the Celtics win this one and probably win it pretty comfortably, man. They don't watch out, man. They're low-key have gotten right back in that mode that quick, man. They've won 4 of their last 5. Probably should have been 5-5. Their only loss came to the Houston Rockets, believe it or not, out on the road. Other than that, like I said, they just beat up on Portland yesterday. Did not cover against Minnesota, but they did beat them 104-102. Beat up on Atlanta out there 134-125. Beat up on Portland again at home 115-93. They're kind of back in that mode, man. Watch out for them Celtics. And I kind of think, like I said, them Nuggets, them top tier teams, they do go through funks, but they can wake up out of them like that and all of a sudden just be right back in that mode, man. So I like the Celtics in this one, man. The Jazz, they are right in that 11th spot, one game out of the play-in, but I do think it's probably over for them. This is a bad spot for them as well. They're coming off of a long road trip. I think it was 6 straight road games, and that first home game back sometimes can be a flat spot. They did cover against the Heat in their last one, 119-115, and before that, they beat Charlotte and Orlando. But still, man, that's Charlotte and Orlando. They had lost to Dallas, covered but lost. Got hammered by Oklahoma City in back-to-back games. I think the Celtics are just the better team, playing the better basketball right now. I don't think the Jazz make that push. I'm going to be honest. I don't think they do. I don't like their chances tonight. Maybe they come out playing with some heart, but I don't think so. We look at their schedule. I think they lose tonight. They got the Kings on Monday. They probably lose that one as well. Then they got the Blazers. That might be a win. Then they got the Bucks. That's an L. Then they got the Kings again. Probably an L. Then they got the Suns again. Probably an L. Then they got the Spurs. And then they got the Celtics. Yeah, they're not making it, bro. They're not making it. And I don't see them. This might be their last hurrah push here today because I just went through the schedule. They got a gauntlet of a schedule coming up if they want to make it. But I don't think it happens. I think the Celtics roll them tonight and continue getting back in that mode, getting in playoff form. I'll lay the points with the Celtics in our last and final matchup of the night. And that's going to conclude today's episode on the Jam Session on March 18th, 2023, man. Thank y'all for watching. Smash that like button for your guy, man. Subscribe if you're new, and drop y'all like down in the comments. As you know, I love going through, seeing who y'all like, man. My best bets can be found over at Pickdawgz Premium. Just click that link in the description. Takes you right to my Handicapper page. That's where you can find my long-term packages, 3-day, 7-day, 30-day, monthly, yearly, seasonal. You can also find all my bets for today's action, NBA, college hoops, man. A lot of college hoops today. We still got some tournament action. We got some second-tier tournaments, CBI, NIT, man. So find all my hoops plays in that link in the description. No hockey for me today. Too much hoops. Shooting it straight. So scoop up all them plays right there, man. Check me out on my live show as well, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, and follow me on Twitter, man. Those are the avenues where I update y'all on late injury news and information coming out of the association, man. On that live show, it's 3 p.m. Central, 4 Eastern. I usually bring on a guest. We run it through one more time, the card, and we drop a parlay at the end, man. So it's a live show, so come spend some time with us, chat with us in the comments, and let's try to make some money on a Saturday. We've been pretty high in that NBA, man. Let's try to keep it rolling. It's been your guy, Jay Briggs. I'll see y'all later on the day, man. I'm out of here. Peace.